Welcome everybody. In today's video, we're taking a look at kind of a general topic, but more focused on two particular products. And the two products being the Kershaw PT1 and the Griffin pocket tool. Like this, I think this is the GPT, the original pocket tool that they have. But we'll talk about a few other pry tools as we go in. This is because these are so simple. I don't feel like I can really make a individual review on just the tool. So we'll do the two together and then spread it around a little bit. So, Kershaw PT1 comes with a little plastic case on it, but it makes it bulkier, and I feel like it looks better skeletonized like this. You just take the Torx out and you've got this nice little slim pry tool that does work as a Phillips head driver there at the tip. You've got a cap lifter. You've got another flathead here on the back. You got a big flathead pry bar, Phillips, or a flathead. Also, package ripper. Works pretty good at ripping through packages, you know, tapes on boxes and stuff. Very budget little tool, coming in between 10 to 30 bucks, depending on where you buy it. I know it's a wide range, but it kind of depends on who you buy it from, what time of year. But I've been carrying this off and on a lot, and I am loving just how comfortable this thing is. It's a good size to just kind of get in there and twist stuff. It doesn't have a lot of the prying action. You don't have a lot of leverage per se, but you've got more than what your fingernails can do, and that's really all I need, is something just a wee bit stronger than my fingernails. And the angle on it is good for putting stuff here and just having fun fidgeting, launching stuff around like a little mini catapult. But it's got a nice slight taper to it there. It's just a really elegant little tool once you remove the plastic scales. And that's why I'm not showing the plastic scales. You can, if you get one, you can leave them on. That's fine. But I recommend taking a Torx. You only need one Torx, because these are de-shanked screws that will stay put when you take them out. So bear that in mind. It's a great little tool. I love it. Then for about 20 to 30 bucks, we have the Griffin PT1. Now, the lighting on this might be going wonky, and that's because I have done some modifications to this. Because when I got this, for a pry tool, a little standard I like to go by is, can it do the screws on your light switch, outlet switch, and stuff like that. And this was too fat to go into the flathead screws. So I took a sharpening set and I have started sharpening it down. I plan to just kind of work on it over the next week or so, a little here, a little there. But by right now, I do have this skinny enough to go into a light socket switch and turn the screws. It's just something I kind of wish that they would have refined a little bit more on this tool from the get-go. But we have various sizes here, and we have the business card for them. We have a 4mm hex, 5mm, 6mm, 7mm, and a 1/4 inch bit driver, a 5/16 hex, bottle opener. They call this a scoring tool, but that's really just kind of a useless shape and dimensions for that little piece. It's really not good. Flathead screwdriver did not come with a keychain, but you can put the keychain through it, though I recommend Night Eye's S-Beaner, because if you ever need the 5/16 screw, you don't want to be trying to fidget that chain off when you could just pop that in, pop that out. So I've done a little filing, done a little work. I'm getting it down there. I'll get it down there as we go, but this thing, it has potential. And this is also like a pocket slip. So if you have your keys or whatnot attached, we'll just say this is my keys for now. Got your keys on here. You drop this into your pocket and loop that over your pocket, and it'll hold your keys vertically like so in your pocket, which is nice. But kind of wish they just made it all one solid piece, but maybe for the milling and stuff, it's easier to just come in and cut out that slip like so. I don't know. The 1/4-inch drive works pretty well. 5/16 works pretty well. The other ones hold up quite nicely. It's good to have as a little extra. Now, I will say it does not hold the Leatherman ratchet extender in the 1/4-inch for some reason. It'll hold the other. It'll hold others, like my Victorinox one here. 1/4-inch bit extender goes right in and locks in, but it will not do that with the flattened Leatherman one. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. 5/16, as you can see, goes well over that. Being millimeters instead of standard, doesn't really grab in the main sections here, but this one little can opener part, it locks in there pretty snugly. You can lose your driver there, but if you've got just the slightest bit of pressure pointing any sideways at all, it's going to hold, and then you've got a good strong torque extender for your bit driving. You don't have any bit driving on this at all, except maybe right here in the middle if you just kind of finagle it some, but it's not designed for bit driving. Whereas this, you know, you could wedge that in there, but it works quite well, like so. So that is the Kershaw PT1 and the Griffin Pocket Tool original one, whatever they call that one. I haven't quite gotten into all of that just yet, but comparing it to some other pry tools in my collection that are not dedicated pry tools, granted, they are Swiss Army or multi-tool based pry tools. We have the Marbles flathead, and I've put some pressure on that, and that has held up pretty well. This is a replica of a World War II Pacific Theater Army issue knife. Fantastic model, 10 bucks, delightful. Probably my flimsiest multi-tool pry bar is the Victorinox Compact, this combo tool here, but it's held up surprisingly well through a lot of stuff already. This thing is a bit of a tank, which is an interesting thing to say about the Compact. I'd like to see Victorinox do an ALOX version. I know you can get them customized ALOX, but it'd be neat to see them actually make an ALOX version of that. The Leatherman Free P2, I have used that as the pry tool a lot. It has held up quite well, quite nicely. I've polished it up a bit over time, but it's done its job. It does it well. The standard Victorinox flathead is great and all. This is what you, on most Swiss Army knives that you get, this is what you're going to end up having as one of your tools. And this is a fantastic flathead pry bar. Goes through hell and back. This thing will take a lot of abuse, and having that half stop on here is really, really good. Do we have the half stop here? I forget. Yes, we have the half stop on the Compact. But what I've been liking a lot more than this one is the Farmer X version, which is thicker, beefier, and all around chunkier compared to the standard flathead. And this thing has really gone through some hell and back a few times over and has held up delightfully well. So it's not, my point of this video is not to necessarily say that you must get a pry tool, you must not get a pry tool. I have just found that for most things, the Victorinox pry tools have been the best, or some other multi-tool. It's just good to have, but I also very much see, and I would like to get my hands on some better pry tools and bigger pry tools as time goes on, but I can very much see where having something like this on your keys or down in a little bag is also very handy to have. You're not really doing a lot of prying, but you just need like a flathead, something tougher than your fingernail. The fingernail 2.0, you know, just gets in there and does a lot of work. And I honestly like the Kershaw PT1. I really like how that one came out. Take the plastic off. This thing is fantastic. I might get the larger Griffin pocket tool down the road, which has the little nail nick in the middle for prying out nails down the road. But seeing how small this one is, the next one's not going to be that much bigger, even with the nail nick and stuff, which kind of I found misleading. Like, you can read dimensions online and visualize how big or small something is, but when you get it, it is kind of this thing of like, is that all it is? You know, like this is small for a pry tool, and this is small for a pry tool. They do a large amount of work, but you kind of want a little bit bigger. And I think that's where I enjoy having a Swiss Army knife one, is you just get that little bit extra torque, a little bit extra leverage. It fits more comfortably in the hand. So if you're looking for pry tools, you know, I recommend like any of the Victorinox A-Locks series. I recommend the compact. I recommend this. I recommend the Marbles GI utility knife. You know, I don't think you have to go down the rabbit hole of dedicated pry tools, but if you do, it's up to you, really. I'm going to use these both. I'm going to carry them. They're going to both come in handy, especially as like this one more as a spare bit of leverage for bit driving. I'm going to have this packed in away in a kit as a spare torque wrench for a bit kit that I'll have. But as an EDC pry tool, I'm probably going to lean towards this because this has just been handier, does a little bit more, and as you can see, about the same size as the Griffin pocket tool. So take that into account. Which one do you want? Do you think multi-tool ones are better? Honestly, I think dedicated pry tools are going to be better because there's less that can break. They're usually one solid piece of metal. Not a lot can go wrong on them. But I really do think that, you know, Victorinox pry tools are about all you really need. It's just kind of user preference. Just throwing it out there. This isn't going to be a full review video, as you can tell. This is just what's out there. What do I think? So, thank you for listening to me ramble for 12 minutes now. Hope you got something out of this video. So, with all that said, farewell, carry well, and bye-bye.